Hello lovely students and welcome back to English with Lucy. I hope you're hungry because I have a delicious video for you today. I am going to teach you 100 food words and phrases, but I'm not just going to give you a list of 100 foods. No, we are going to learn in a much better way. I have divided this video into categories. We're going to focus on pronunciation, commonly confused words, typical British meals, what the Brits eat at Christmas, international foods, foods that the British and Americans say differently, foods that have different names across different English-speaking countries. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to learn a lot. And to make it even easier for you, ta-da! I have made a beautiful free PDF. You can download this now. It contains all 100 of the words and the pictures. You get access to secret exercises and I go into more detail. If you would like to download this for free, just click on the link in the description box or scan this QR code here. You enter your name and your email address. You sign up to my mailing list and the PDF will arrive directly in your inbox. And after that, you've joined my free PDF club. Every week, you will automatically receive my free PDFs alongside all of my news, updates, and course offers. It's a free service and you can unsubscribe at any time with just one click. Okay, let's get started with the lesson. We're going to start with an easy category first. Vegetables, but we're going to focus on correct, clear pronunciation. And let's start with the word vegetable. I say vegetable, 3 syllables, not vegetable. It's not incorrect to use 4 syllables, some people do, but it's more common to hear vegetable. Here are 10 vegetables in English with a focus on correct pronunciation. We have carrot. Notice how I use the schwa sound in the second syllable. Ut, not ot. Carrot, not carrot. Then we have beetroot. Broccoli. That's a hard one to spell with double C, 1 L. Cauliflower. Cabbage. Asparagus. 3 schwa sounds there. Asparagus. Pumpkin, and spinach. Not spinach. Spinach. Pea, although it's usually plural, peas. And finally, onion. Okay, we've done our vegetables. Let's move up a level. You're going to see 10 food items, names and pictures, and 10 letters that they contain that are silent. Try to match the silent letter or letters to the food. Pause the video if you need to. Are you ready for the answers? First, we have lamb. And this has a silent B. Lamb. Next, salmon. This has a silent L in it. In general, we don't say salmon, we say salmon. Next, this one. Sandwich or sandwich. I prefer sandwich, and if I speak quickly, I often say sandwich with the sound. We don't tend to pronounce the D is silent. This one. Swordfish. The W is silent. What about this one? Donut. G and H are silent. And this is often spelt donut, D-O-N-U-T, in North American English, which is much closer to its pronunciation. Next. Sorbet with a silent T. This delicious berry. Raspberries. We don't pronounce the P. This one, controversial. chocolate, chocolate. We don't tend to say chocolate with 3 syllables. We say chocolate with 2 syllables. So the O is silent. This one, omelette, omelette. We have 2 silent E's there because it comes from French. And notice 2 syllables, omelette, not omelette. And the final one, herb or herb in American English. So the H is often silent in American English, herb, but in British English it is usually herb with the H sound. Okay, now we're ready to start comparing varieties of English. And we're not just looking at British and North American English, we're going to dive into some other varieties too. Are you ready? What would you call these? In British English, we say sweets. In North American English, it's candy or candies. And in Australian English, lollies. Next, what's this? In British English, it's an aubergine. In North American English, it's an eggplant. And in Indian and South African English, brinjal, brinjal. Okay, what's this? In British English, it's a pepper. It's a bell pepper in North American English because it's shaped like a bell. And in Australian, New Zealand and Indian English, it's a capsicum. Okay, last one. What would you call this? In British English, it's an ice lolly. In North American English, it's a popsicle. And notice the capital letter and the little trademark symbol. Popsicle is actually a brand name that is often used for ice lollies. And in Australian English, it's an icy pole. Very cute. Okay, let's come back to Britain now. I'm going to show you some of our best loved dishes, real British dishes. I'll show you pictures. Can you name them? This first one, fish and chips, fish and chips. What about this one? It's a tikka masala, normally a chicken tikka masala. We love Asian cuisine in the UK. Next, this is my favourite. I had one this Sunday, that's a clue. It's a Sunday roast, a traditional meal that we have every Sunday. Next, an English breakfast, also often called a full English breakfast. This creative and elaborate dish that is my mum's favourite, beans on toast. Beans on toast, it's a classic 5-minute dinner. It's pretty affordable as well. This one, it's a Cornish pasty, and that's from Cornwall, and it's meat and potatoes wrapped in pastry. Next, a shepherd's pie. This is lamb's mince with a potato topping, traditionally made with lamb because shepherds look after sheep. This is the ultimate luxury in the UK. If anyone makes you this, they love you. It's a beef Wellington. It's fillet of beef wrapped in pastry. Pie and mash. Pie and mash. Mash is short for mashed potatoes. And this one is such a treat. Afternoon tea. Afternoon tea. Have you tried any of those meals? Let me know in the comments section. I know we aren't famous for our food in Britain, but we do have a few really nice meals. I've put more information about these meals and the ingredients in the PDF. You can click the link in the description box to download that. Okay, next section, we're going to look at some commonly confused food words. And as we just talked about tea, let's begin with that. We'll start with 3 commonly confused words for meals. We have lunch, dinner, and tea. When do we usually eat these meals? Well, generally, lunch is the meal in the middle of the day and dinner is the evening meal. But in some parts of the UK, particularly in the north of England, dinner is the midday meal and tea is the evening meal. It confuses me too. And actually, when I was a kid, my mum, who was born in the south of England, always used to call my dinner tea. I think it's because I had it earlier than she did with my dad. So sometimes kids have tea and then their parents have dinner later, even though we eat pretty much the same thing, just in smaller portions. So I say lunch for my midday meal and dinner for my evening one, but you might choose different words depending on what people around you say. Some of our friends say supper for dinner. Some people say tea for dinner. Here's another pair of commonly confused words. We have to bake versus to roast. So we bake and roast food in an oven, but we can also roast food over a fire. We bake and roast different foods. So we bake things like cakes, muffins, and bread. And these foods undergo a transformation in the oven from a liquid or dough to a solid. And we usually roast meat and vegetables. And these foods are solid when they go into the oven and when they come out. There are some exceptions. We might bake cod, the fish, for example. I've put the exceptions in the PDF, so if you want to learn more about the exceptions, download that. 2 examples. I'm going to bake a cake for my mum's birthday, but I'm roasting a chicken for dinner. 2 more confusing words. We have salty versus savoury. Everyone loves sweet food, apart from my dad, for some reason. Everyone else loves sweet food, but the opposite of that, is it savoury or salty? So many of my students say sweet and salty, but actually the opposite of sweet food is savoury food. Savoury is a broad category of food and it means anything that's not sweet. Salty food is more specific and it's used to describe food that tastes of salt, like crisps. So we'd say, I prefer a savoury breakfast like eggs or bacon, not a salty breakfast. Unless you are specifically saying that you want your breakfast to be salty. And my final pair of confusing words, dessert and pudding. Dessert is a general term for a sweet food eaten after a meal. In some areas of the UK and other places around the world, pudding, or pud for short, is also a sweet food eaten after a meal, so it's a synonym for dessert. But we can also use pudding to talk about certain dishes, like sticky toffee pudding. We wouldn't say sticky toffee dessert, it's a set name. However, a pudding can be savoury too, and we will see one later in the video. And just to add to the confusion, in North American English, pudding is a specific type of cold, creamy dessert. Okay, we've reached 50 words, which means we're halfway through the lesson. Let's move on to our next category. We're going to dive back into pronunciation with 2 different exercises. First, we'll look at homophones. I'm going to show you 5 pairs of words. They have the same pronunciation, but different spellings and different meanings. For each pair, I want you to identify which one is the food, which one is edible. First, mussels, mussels. Which one is the food? It's the first one. Mussels, ELS, are a small type of shellfish. They have black shells, and your muscles are here and all over your body. They help you move. Next, moose and mousse. The second one is a food. It's a cold dessert made with eggs and cream. It's quite light, it's quite airy. The mousse with 2 O's is a big deer that lives in North America. Next one, cereal, cereal. The first one is a food. Cereal with a C is often eaten for breakfast. Cereal with an S is a story or program published in several parts. Stranger Things is a popular serial. Now we call them series. Pair 4, we have chili and chili. Okay, this time the food is the first one again. A chili with an I is a small hot vegetable. It's normally spelt with 1 L in North American English. Now if you're chili with a Y, you're a bit cold. And the final pair, a leek and a leek. I know which one I'd prefer to have under my sink. The second one is the food. Leek, L-E-E-K, and notice the long E sound, leek, not lick, leek, is like a long onion. It's white at the bottom and it's green at the top. It's also the national symbol of Wales. And a leek with EA is a small hole or crack that lets liquid or gas flow out by accident. Okay, for the second part of our pronunciation category, we're going to look at some commonly mispronounced words. Here are some QU and CU words that students often find difficult to pronounce. Can you say them? Here are the first three with QU. We have quiche, quiche with a K sound, squid with a Qu sound, and croquette, croquette with a K sound again. And here are two words containing the letters CU. This one really gets people. Biscuit, that has a K sound, biscuit, biscuit. And the last one is cucumber with a Q sound, cucumber. Okay, let's leave pronunciation for now and move on to our next category, different food groups. We're talking about protein and carbohydrates, or carbs. I want you to divide 10 foods according to whether they are protein rich or carbohydrate rich. What do they have more of? The foods are beef, pasta, pork, chicken, rice, bread, Greek yogurt, banana, fish, and oats. Pause the video now and try to categorize them. Okay, here are the answers. Foods that are protein heavy: beef, pork, chicken, Greek yogurt, and fish. And foods that are carb heavy: pasta, rice, bread, banana, and oats. How did you do with those 10? Next, I'm going to show you the names of 10 foods, and I want you to tell me where they're from before I tell you the answer. And I'm only going to say one country for each, but I'd love it if you could name some other countries where they are popular in the comment section. We have poutine from Canada, kimchi from South Korea. I love kimchi. Pupusa from El Salvador. We have nasi lemak from Malaysia and fufu from Ghana. I had this when I was there recently. It was amazing. I know it's popular in lots of other West African countries too. We have goulash from Hungary, adobo from the Philippines. We have salo from Ukraine and pho from Vietnam. And the last one, ceviche from Peru. Okay, 2 more categories to go. We have traditional British Christmas foods. Look at this Christmas table. This is everything we like to eat on Christmas Day. We have turkey, stuffing, roast potatoes, cranberry sauce, Yorkshire puddings, gravy, pigs in blankets, which are sausages wrapped in bacon, everyone's favourites, sprouts, also called Brussels sprouts, Christmas pudding, and mince pies. Now, Brussels sprouts and Christmas pudding have a bit of a bad reputation. People like to say that they don't like them, but love them or hate them, they're nearly always on the table, and it becomes very nostalgic for us. Okay, our final category is the best category, and I'm very biased. I love fruit. If I could eat fruit for the rest of my life and nothing else, I'd be cool with that. I really would. I'm going to show you 10 pictures of different fruits. You can pause the video and try to name as many as you can. Let's name them with clear pronunciation. We have strawberry, strawberry, an apple, a passion fruit. A passion fruit, I love passion fruit, but it's really hard to find good ones in the UK. Kiwi, kiwi, pineapple, pineapple, coconut, coconut, a plum, plum, blueberries, blueberries, a fig, and word number 100 is a watermelon, and I had to end the video on watermelon as it is my favourite food in the entire world. How many of those fruits did you manage to name correctly? And out of all of those foods, which one is your favourite, or which one would you most like to try? Now, as I said, there's a lot of information that I couldn't fit into this video, so I've added it to the free PDF. There I go into more detail about British foods as well, what they contain. Maybe if you're planning a trip to the UK, you could use this to help you decide what to eat. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. I really enjoyed making it, and it's made me quite hungry, so I need to go for dinner now. Don't forget to download that free PDF. Also, visit englishwithlucy.com to check out my courses. We talk a lot about food and British culture in my B1, B2 and C1 programs. You might like those. I will see you soon in another lesson. Mwah.